Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, your favorite tarot reader, and in today's reading we're going to be taking a look at why some people obsess over you. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it is a bit tricky when reading for the collective. If you want something more personal, you can always check in with a psychic for a more in-depth description. Speaking of which, I tried a clairvoyant from Psychic Source, and yes, they're sponsoring today's video. Thank you, Psychic Source. I got matched with a clairvoyant through their site, and honestly, I wasn't expecting her to be that accurate. I gave her no personal info, just asked about my future love life, and somehow she instantly picked up that I'm already in a relationship. She literally said, "Why are you asking about the future without mentioning him?" I was literally speechless, but then I remembered that's kind of what I do too. Still a shocking experience to be on the receiving end of it. She described my future partner as someone who makes me really happy, with great communication and a bond that can handle anything. But the part that really stuck with me, she said she saw my future husband giving me purple flowers. A few weeks later, nothing happened, so I kind of forgot about it. Then we saw a tattoo promo on Instagram. My boyfriend sent me his ideas so I can book, and boom, a purple flower. Not a bouquet, but I'm definitely taking that as a sign. You can chat with gifted advisors however you're most comfortable. Phone, video, or even text. Setting up my account on their website was super easy, and they have this quick little quiz that helps you find a psychic based on what you're looking for, whether it's love, past lives, energy readings, whatever. It made the whole process really personal and intentional. What sets them apart is the level of care and integrity. Only 2% of their applicants actually become advisors, so you know you're speaking to someone who's truly gifted and held to high ethical standards. And they back everything up with a no-risk guarantee. If you're not happy with your last paid reading, it's free. For a limited time, you can use my code Siren at psychicsource.com when checking out, or you can just click the link in my description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. You'll get up to 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. You don't have to use it all in one session. You can spread those minutes out across multiple advisors to see who you truly resonate with. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity at no extra cost to you. Oh, and yes, I do get paid for this promo, so when you sign up with Psychic Source, you're feeding a perpetually hungry, slightly dramatic psychic, that would be me, and funding my next impulsive crystal purchase. As you can see, the channel needs some new crystals, but that's all for now. Thank you again to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. So getting back to your pile selection and reading. So for pile 1, we have the Rainbow Pendant with the Four of Wands. For pile 2, we have Tiger's Eye with the Devil. And for pile 3, we have Buyer Agate with the Six of Wands reverse. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. So once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. And if you're still struggling to pick a pile, then you can pause the video and I will see you there when you're ready. Hi pile 1, if you chose the Rainbow Pendant and the Four of Wands, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at why some people obsess over you, so please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. So let's go ahead and shuffle your cards. Spirit guides of pile 1, please tap me into their energy, and please show me, why do some people obsess over my pile 1s? Why do some people obsess over my pile 1s? So we have the Chariot showing up reverse. We have the Star showing up reverse. I'm feeling a sensation that's so weird. As I was shuffling, I felt like a spider web was on my hands. That sounds so strange, but there's nothing there. But I felt that feeling. So there's something associated to spiders here, and spiders are associated to creativity. They're associated with family, home. But when we're talking about obsession, maybe some people kind of get stuck in your web, metaphorically. Like when they obsess over you, even if they try not to, they're kind of stuck in your web, if that makes sense. So the Six of Pentacles reverse, the Six of Swords. That's very interesting. I've never felt that in a reading before. The Queen of Swords reverse. So you could have people obsess over your creativity. So for example, if you paint or if you draw or if you make music, whatever it is you do, even if you come up with creative ideas or you dress up in a way that's very fashionable and creative, there's something about people obsessing over the way you express yourself creatively. There's also something about maybe either family having obsessions over you or people obsessing over you because maybe they feel like you are kind of like wifey or hubby material and they see you as someone they would want to start a family with. I mean, the Four of Wands is here, so this can represent wifey, hubby material because this is a marriage card to me. So some people kind of put you on this pedestal and make you up to be this like perfect person in their mind, the person they would bring home to their parents, the person they would like spend the rest of their life with. So people tend to obsess over you romantically for that reason. Some of you may also have a little bit of a femme fatale energy, and if you're a male, then I don't know what word to use, but there's that type of energy showing up where, you know how like a black widow spider will bite the other spider's head off? I kind of feel that type of energy where people could obsess over you even if you broke their heart. I'm not saying you should go break people's hearts, but maybe you kind of have that energy about you where you could break people's hearts. You could be like that man-eater type of energy. You represent the hope, healing, and unattainable beauty to the people obsessing over you. People definitely put you on a pedestal. They make you perfect in their mind with a star here. And this is an uncontrollable obsession with the Chariot reverse. Like I said, with the spiderweb energy, the Chariot reverse confirms it for me. Even if they try to control this obsession, it's uncontrollable in some way. They can't resist it in some way. So you could also be very irresistible physically, which makes people obsess over you. But there could also be that feeling of them not being able to resist the obsession in general. You are someone that's very fun with an interesting personality, and people do tend to obsess over that. Some people feel as though they never get bored around you, and they always have a fun time with you. And a lot of times they miss those fun times they have with you, where they want to continue spending time with you because of the fact that every time they hang out with you, it's always a good time, whether it's romantic, platonic, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like they're always having a good time with you, no matter what you're doing. Even if you're not doing anything fun, you always just bring fun times to people. So as a result of that, people just want more and more of you. They can never get enough of you. And even romantically, people feel that way, like they can never get enough of you. You bring a spark into people's lives. And I do also feel like when people are romantically involved with you, there's some kind of strong spark or chemistry that tends to make them obsess over you. But also within your friendships, like you bring this spark of excitement their way. You could be someone that pulls back a little bit with the Six of Pentacles reverse, where you don't give everybody time or access to you. A lot of you could be learning to be more selfish in a way because maybe you have always given to everybody around you and you're learning to be selfish and put yourself first. And I think as a result of that, recently, it's causing some people to obsess over you because I feel like people you've maybe given to a lot before and now they're maybe not receiving the same energy from you. Now they're starting to wonder why you're not giving to them anymore. And people that don't have access to you anymore, the fact that they don't have access to you makes them obsess over you even more. Some of you could also be mysterious in a way where when people don't have information on you, it makes them obsess even more. Like, you know Maddie from Euphoria? You know how she's one of those celebrities that are never really seen, but then it kind of makes people obsess over her more. Or even like Beyonce, she's not always releasing music. She's not always like in the media, but people still obsess over her because she's Queen Bee. So I'm getting that type of vibe here of your mystery attracting obsession. And people don't lose interest even when you are mysterious or private. In fact, there have been times where you've pulled back from people and it's made them obsess over you more. I'm not saying you should pull back or give less to people to make them obsess, because I don't think that's right, but I do think that happens. So the Six of Swords here tells me you've also changed people's lives in the best way possible. When people come into your life, you completely drastically switch and change things up. Even if you're not directly or intentionally trying to change things within their life, you just bring hope, healing, and change. Positive changes. People look back at the person they once were before they met you compared to where they are now. They see the transformations they've gone through. They see how much they've evolved and grown and changed. And that just makes them feel like you're a good influence to them in some way where they want to continue to be around you. That makes them obsess even more. With the Queen of Swords reversed, you could be someone really quiet or private. You could not share much about your life. Some of you could be a little bit more shy, or some of you could consider yourself a little bit socially awkward, but I don't think people see it that way. I think people see you as just like, again, mysterious in a sexy way where you don't talk much or reveal much. And then it makes them obsess over you even more. They don't see it as like, oh, you're being awkward or you're shy. They see it as like, ooh, this person's so mysterious and sexy. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. People see you as someone who shines even in the darkest times, and you've brought light their way even in the darkest moments. You've brightened their day even in their darkest moments. And because of that, I feel like people just put you on a pedestal even more. Your glow is magnetic, especially when you're focused on your goals and you seem emotionally out of reach. Some of you could even have like a nonchalant energy about you that makes people obsess. Or like a little bit of a detached energy about you recently that makes people obsess. And I'm also saying that you bring wisdom and enlightenment to people and healing too. So I feel like a lot of you, even if you're not spiritual, you have a healing energy about you and you're very wise, and you've probably helped a lot of people without realizing it. Because of maybe advice you've given or things you said to them that helped them put it in perspective. So that is what I definitely see here. People find you captivating in a way. Your smile makes people obsess. You could be the life of the party at times, and that does make people obsess as well. People definitely miss you when you're not around and they feel your absence, and that makes them obsess even more. People often watch you from afar on social media through mutual friends or even energetically in dreams. You may have gone through a glow up or a healing phase that made you especially captivating. Some people wish they could be close to you, but they don't know if they even deserve you. So Like I said, people put you on a pedestal and make you perfect in their mind. And some people want to approach you or want to even like be around you, but they just see themselves as out of your league or you're out of their league. Like something like that's coming through where so some people want to approach you, pile one, but they feel like you're out of their league. They feel like you're unattainable in some way or you're too good for them in some way. You're everything they wish they could be close to, but they don't know if they deserve you. They feel like a fraud whenever they're around you. And I feel the insecurities in my solar plexus chakra too. You may also trigger insecurities within people that make them obsess over you, especially if they don't feel good about themselves. This could include some kind of self-comparison here. Who is obsessed with you? I see someone who is also a little bit quiet, introverted, and possibly spiritual. Could be a friend turned admirer, or someone you helped during a dark period. I also see people you've partied with or had fun moments with like that, where you've done fun activities together. I see people obsessing over you that maybe compare themselves to you. I see past people that maybe no longer have access to you obsessing over you. Or people you've pulled away from obsessing over you. I also see romantic energies quite prominently. So you could have exes obsessing over you, a current romantic partner, or people you're talking to romantically. So zodiac sign showing up, this could be your sign or the people that are obsessing over you. So I am seeing Aquarius quite prominently with a star. There is Cancer energy showing up quite prominently too, with the Chariot showing up reverse. Air sign energy showing up strongly too. So Gemini and Libra as well. The number 6 is reminding me of Cancer energy too, because of the 6th month. And also Gemini, because Gemini and Cancer are both in June. But the number 6 showing up twice makes me also think of Virgo energy because of the 6th house. The number 7 also makes me think of Cancer and Leo. And the number 7 is also making me think of Libra that I already mentioned because of the 7th house. So those are the zodiac signs I feel for you. Let me know what you thought of this reading down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi Pal 2, if you chose the Tiger's Eye Crystal with the Devil card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at why do some people obsess over you. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. So let's go ahead and shuffle your cards. Spirit guides of Pal 2. Please tap me into the energy of Pal 2 and those that obsess over my Pal 2s. And please show me, why do some people obsess over Pal 2? Why do some people obsess over Pile 2? I don't know why. I'm hearing something about your bloodline, something about your ancestors. That is so weird. I never expected that message. But also with the Devil being your first card, you are someone very alluring and sexy, at least from the outside eye and perspective. So we have the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the King of Wands, reverse. So people tend to obsess over you because of your sex appeal. You're very tempting and alluring, maybe even irresistible in a way. There's some kind of deep attraction here, sexual, emotional, and even karmic. You trigger their shadow side and awaken desires they don't fully understand or control. Their obsession comes from a place of wanting to possess your energy. So I do think that with you, since you chose the devil card and all these cards are coming out, I feel like when people obsess over you, it's not very healthy. It comes from a place of control, and it comes from a more karmic place. I do think that there are instances in your life where you do have some people that obsess over you in a more healthy way, because I do believe that there are healthy forms of obsession and then there are unhealthy forms. But I feel like most of the people that obsess over you, it's karmic in some way. Some people even obsess over you because of jealousy with the Five of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Because it's almost like because you're so beautiful or so handsome and so sexually appealing, I feel like that does trigger jealousy within people. But also because you seem happy with your own life and because you seem like you're going somewhere with your life, like you're consistently making moves towards the things you're passionate about. And you're building some kind of stability and independence for yourself that can also trigger a lot of jealousy in people, because it's almost like you're a triple threat. Imagine somebody else seeing you and being like, oh, this person's hot. They're smart. They have a good life. They seem to be making money. They seem to be, creating stability for themselves. They seem to be happy. Like, I just see this energy of people seeing you as a triple threat in some way. People almost feeling like even when they try to compete with you, they can't compete with you. Some people might even try to outright copy you, and they can never get it right. They can never do you better than you do yourself. Like, it's like that type of person that tries to copy you and thinks they can be you better than yourself. Very delusional in a sense, but that's what I see. I do also think when you've had conflicts with people, my pal twos, some people tend to obsess over the conflict, especially if they got caught out in a lie with the justice card reversed at the back of the deck. And especially if they wanted to be right in the argument and you won the argument. So I see some people obsessing over the argument in their mind, being like, oh, I should have said this, or oh, I should have done this. I do think that you must be careful sometimes to not argue with the wrong people, because some people can be very vengeful and can obsess over it and can obsess over like wanting to prove you wrong or get back at you. So I think just be careful to not piss off the wrong person. Not that it's your fault, but I think sometimes you don't even do anything, but maybe that person's just triggered by you in some way because you trigger things within themselves, within their own shadow side. And it's not necessarily you, but I think just try to be mindful of it so that you don't accidentally run into the wrong person that may be like a little bit vengeful or maybe a little bit petty. You know what I mean? Because I do think sometimes people try to get back at you or try to argue with you again or try to get a reaction out of you because of their anger. It's like their anger turns into an obsession here. And like I said, when you find out a lie or when you find out someone was not being truthful or loyal, you always find out in some way, shape, or form. And some people obsess over the fact that they thought that they would have gotten away with it. They thought they would have gotten away with their bad behavior and that you would have never found out, but somehow you found out. So I think you've had liars obsess over you because they can't figure out how you found out that they were lying or that they were not being completely truthful, right? Or not loyal. Whatever it is, I see that. I do also see situations where there was disappointment being a theme. So this could be a situation where someone maybe hurt you in some way, either accidentally or not. Either or, it's showing up. Maybe they hurt you, they feel regretful over the fact that they hurt you, they saw you cry, and now they obsess over the fact that they hurt you. Not in the sense of wanting to hurt you more, but more in the sense of, I can't believe I hurt them, I can't believe I made them cry, being full of regret, stuff like that. I feel like some people obsess over the regret and the guilt where they can't get themselves out of that feeling of guilt for hurting you, where they believe they deserve some kind of pain or karma or something like that. And I think some people try to do better. They try to like maybe not do those same things again that could maybe hurt you or hurt someone else. So I think some people try to grow from that, which is a good thing. But then I think some people just get into this loophole of guilt and shame where they never get out of that. And they kind of make themselves the victim, if that makes sense. But I do also see situations where maybe you accidentally hurt a person or intentionally hurt them. I don't know. Maybe they obsess over the fact that you hurt them and they can't get over that hurt. And you know, with you, like, let's say you do something small and it wasn't even intentional, but you hurt a person. They will obsess over it for like 10 years before they get over it. I feel this energy within my sacral chakra as I say that. So it has to do with, again, shame. Them not knowing how to process their own emotions. Wounds around the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is also associated with our sexuality and confidence. So I do feel like you trigger wounded people there, where if they are not confident in themselves, if they're insecure, you're definitely going to trigger them and they're going to obsess over you in a more negative way. But I do think the lighter form of what I see here is that some people obsess over you because of your confidence, because you inspire them in a way, with the Queen of Wands here. So some people won't obsess over you because of jealousy, but because you inspire them, because you bring good energy their way, because you're passionate about life, and they love that passion you have for life, where they want to sort of emulate that energy or have that energy rub off on them in some way. People are drawn to your light. People are drawn to your independence. They want to ask you questions like, how did you get here? How did you do this? There's something about people obsessing over your consistency too. So when you are consistent with people, with your efforts, it makes them obsess over you because it makes them feel secure in the connection. Like, you're not going anywhere. You've proved to me that you're trustworthy. I know you're here to stay in my life. I know you're here for a long time. I know I can rely on you. And that causes some people to feel so safe that they feel like, okay, I can obsess over this person and not feel like they're going to abandon me or leave me or not be there for me when I need them. You get what I mean? You also bring grounding energy to people, yet this excitable energy at the same time. And that's something people tend to obsess over. People tend to obsess over your smile, over your look, your body, and even your social media. Some people tend to obsess over how they appear to you, where they will try everything in their power to appear a certain way to you. Now with the King of Wands reverse, again, there's like this negative energy attached to this where some people, like, let's say a person has anger issues, because the King of Wands reverse to me represents a person that has a lot of like pent up anger and aggression within them. A very like reactive person. That's how I read the King of Wands reverse, especially with the Five of Wands here. These two card combinations make me think of that. So I do think you tend to trigger those kinds of people, where it's not like you're necessarily doing anything to them, but they're already an angry person, so everything already triggers them. But maybe your light triggers them even more. If that makes sense, your confidence, your joy triggers them even more. You know that type of person that can't stand to see another person happy? I get that type of feeling here too. Now, the last energy I see here is someone like trying to return to you, an ex or something like that. I'm getting like a karmic energy and a feeling of someone like wanting to keep returning to you, someone missing you, someone having regrets of what happened in your relationship. And maybe a lot of you don't want this person back because you knew it was toxic. And maybe that's why it ended. I feel like this person acts like they've moved on, but they're watching your every move, possibly even doing manifestation rituals or even energetic tethering, like cord attachments. Or they may be kind of like pulling on your energy if you already have some kind of sexual tie with them. So when you think of energetic cords, if we sleep with someone, we create an energetic cord to them. But not only when we sleep with them, when we hug people, when we have a connection with them, when we're not just like intimate in the bedroom, but when we create that emotional attachment, we also create an energetic cord. And think about it like this. If I create an emotional connection with someone and I'm like always hugging them, always being around them, always talking to them, eventually when I stop being around them, I still have that cord attached to them if I don't cut it. And let's say this person's always thinking about me, they're always missing me, they can sort of unconsciously pull on my energy, and then maybe I'll start dreaming of them all the time, thinking of them all the time, and I have no idea why. So sometimes that can happen, and I feel like that's happening for you guys, where it's almost like this person is, if they're not intentionally doing it, it's kind of like they're pulling on your energy unintentionally if they're not aware of this, okay? So people hate how much they want you. They try to distract themselves, but nothing compares. People feel like once they've had you, nothing compares. Nothing feels the same. You know when you eat something so delicious and then you try to go back to like boring food and it's just not the same? Like, or you listen to an amazing song and then you try to go back to like another song that seems boring and it's just not the same. Like, I'm getting that type of energy, but with you, where it's like nothing compares. They can meet other people, they can try to date other people, try to befriend other people, but it just doesn't feel the same. It's almost like sometimes people look for you in other people, try to replace you through other people. So we have the number 555 showing up. I do also think that you've brought change to people's lives for the better and for the worse. Since this is a karmic energy here, I do feel like sometimes people get karma. Sometimes you are people's karma, but sometimes you are people's blessing, where you bring positive change their way. But let's say a person is treating you negatively, their life changes for the worse after you because you're like their karma in some way. So who's obsessed? I see an ex, a situationship, or a karmic partner, someone from the past. There may have been intimacy, arguments, or intense emotional highs and lows. I see jealous people, people that not only compare themselves to you, but almost like try to one-up you or try to compete with you or try to copy you. I see people that are maybe like argumentative or just very hot-headed in some way. I see people that have maybe had arguments with you, or like I said, where you've maybe hurt each other in ways. And I also see people you've inspired and people that have maybe done you wrong, obsessing over you. So, zodiac sign showing up. There's definitely strong Capricorn energy here. Scorpio and Aries too. In fact, the fire signs are coming up quite strongly with all the fire energy here. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I also want to say Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. I also want to say maybe like 8th house, 12th house placements. I want to say Pisces too, as well as Gemini and Cancer. So that is all I have for you. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi Pal 3, if you chose the Fire Agate Crystal and the Six of Wands reverse, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at why do some people obsess over you. So please be aware that this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest. Let's go ahead and shuffle your cards. So I'm hearing time is ticking. People feel this insane amount of pressure to sort of like impress you in a way. I feel like you're someone with not much of an ego with the Six of Wands showing up reverse, but it's almost like people still try to go out of their way to impress you or try to get you to see them a certain way. I feel like people will try to do the most to chase after you or to be with you, like romantically. But also in terms of friendship, like people will want to do the most to try and put an effort to try to make you feel special in some way. I feel like people often become very infatuated with you. And there's just like a feeling of like, I have pressure on me where I want to put in so much effort. And there's almost like this feeling as well, if someone's like romantically pursuing you, there's a feeling of pressure because they think that because you're so beautiful or because you're so handsome, they think that you might have other people trying to like pursue you, that they think the clock is ticking. So we have the World card showing up in the reverse. We have the Knight of Wands showing up reverse, but I also think people create certain timelines in their mind. So let's say someone wants to date you and they're like, okay, in their mind, they want to be in a serious relationship by this time, or they want to be married by this time. I feel like because people create certain timelines in their head, it doesn't have to just be romantic, but they could create timelines in their head that almost put pressure on them where they feel like they need to act now. And maybe they're afraid of like being alone, not having love, getting heartbroken or something like that too. So the World card is showing up reverse, the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles reverse. I think some people also tend to obsess over you with the Nine of Pentacles because of your independence. I think when someone feels like you're independent and you can do everything on your own and you don't need me and you're self-sufficient on your own, it kind of makes them feel like, okay, you would be fine without me, but I wouldn't be fine without you. Like maybe I rely on you, or maybe I need you, but you don't need me. Or maybe I want to feel needed by you. I say I because I'm in their energy, but they don't know how to say that. So I feel like some people obsess over you because you're independent and because they want to be needed by you, but they don't feel like they are. People also obsess over you because you're someone that doesn't really have much of an ego. People can tell that you have a genuine heart and you're coming across with like a genuine, kind, respectful energy. You make people feel seen and people feel like they can be themselves around you. They feel this non-judgmental air or energy from you. People tend to obsess over your hair, the way your hair looks. You could have like very beautiful locks of hair. A lot of you have curly or wavy hair. People may also obsess over the way you do your makeup if you're a woman or if you just wear makeup. And even if you have like more of a natural look, like let's say you just like put on a little bit of lip gloss, like maybe it just looks really good on you, that people obsess over your look, like your facial features and stuff. I do see like emphasis on the facial features, right? And the smile too. People may also obsess over the way your legs look. Like I said, people become very infatuated with your vibe, soft, creative, and emotionally unique. Sometimes people fall in love with the feeling of love or the feeling that you bring them. It's kind of like you bring out the soft, dreamy feeling and energy in people. I do also think with the World showing up reverse, people tend to obsess over you when they can't move on from you, when they feel like they haven't gotten closure or a real chance. Maybe there's something here about people from your past obsessing because they just can't get over you, with the world showing up reversed because they just can't let go. Or, like, let's say someone is in a relationship with you or friends with you and they just feel like they wouldn't be able to let this connection go even if they tried. That could be the case too. Some people may obsess, like I said, because they never got a real chance and they maybe regret not taking action sooner or telling you how they feel sooner and feeling like they can't let go of this. Like maybe they never pursued you because they were shy, but they kind of feel like they can't let go of it, so they must try. You literally make their heart feel like a poem they can't stop reading. Like, I feel this heavily like romanticized energy. I feel like people tend to romanticize you in their minds. People also obsess over you because when they're around you, it kind of feels like an escape from their day-to-day life. So I'm seeing a situation where, let's say you were younger and you had a friend that always came over to your house and they always wanted to hang out at your house and not at their house. And maybe they had a really tough situation in their home, like in their family home, and they always hanged out with you to escape their own problems because they didn't have to deal with their problems when they were with you. I'm seeing an example of that. The example doesn't have to resonate, but that's the energy I'm seeing. So it could also be like, let's say they have a lot of stresses at work, and then every time they hang out with you, they don't have to think about that. You know, it could be anything, but I'm just seeing it kind of feels like an escape, a happy escape being with you. You kind of make time slow down in a way. You know, when people say time slows down when you're having fun, that's kind of the feeling I'm getting here. Like time kind of just slows down with you. You also make people feel like they can slow down and stop putting pressure on themselves. Like, I feel like you have this reassuring energy about you. When people are around you and they put too much pressure on themselves, you help them realize that they can relax, they can breathe, they don't have to be so anxious, they don't have to be so stressed, they don't have to put so much pressure on themselves. So you have like this comforting yet supportive energy about you where you remind people to slow down, to take care of themselves, to breathe. You just have this like calming energy about you. I do also think people will or do obsess over your self-made success. So when I'm saying will or do, it's because maybe some of you haven't reached that yet. But I do feel like if you haven't reached that yet, you will in the future. And I feel like a lot of you with the Six of Wands reverse don't really care about like physical success, or you don't really care about like awards or trophies and things like that, like the ego things. But I do feel like you are going to achieve big things in this lifetime. And I do feel like a lot of people are going to be constantly asking you how you did it in some way. There's a kind of dreamy admiration here. I do think you have a lot of secret admirers, pile 3. And you kind of set people's hearts on fire in a way. Like I said, you have this independent vibe about you where you don't need anybody. And I think for so long you have maybe been hyper independent. You've been taught to not rely on other people. And I think sometimes as a result of that, it's not that you're not supportive of others or being there for others, but you've kind of learned over time that, okay, I need to have my ish together. You focus on your own life, get your ish together. Like, it's not that you're necessarily not helping people or being reliable or there for them, but you've kind of learned over time that everybody is just like looking out for themselves, right? So I think for some time, you kind of had that mindset where you were just focusing on you and not on other people. And I think sometimes because you're not like constantly going out of your way to help them, maybe they obsess over receiving that help from you without asking you. Does that make sense? Where some people kind of like fantasize, and if it's not help, then it could be something else. but it's like people fantasize about receiving something from you that they've not been receiving. And then because they fantasize about that and want that so badly, they will obsess over getting that from you. But sometimes they won't even ask you for it, but they'll just obsess over wanting to get that from you. They'll obsess over their expectations they have in their head, either about the connection you have, where they have like an expectation in their head, or a timeline, like I said before, of we need to be here by this time. Or it could be like they have an expectation from you to receive something from you, but they're not telling you about it, but they obsess over that expectation. I do see that energy quite prominently here. I do also think that sometimes you have the tendency to be a little bit distant, not because you don't care, but because you're focusing on you and because you're focusing on your own growth. And I feel like sometimes in those spaces where you're away from people, people tend to miss you. People tend to really think about like, oh, I haven't spoken to Pile 3 today. Like, I've been really lonely without them. I should probably message them soon. So because people feel like they miss you when you're not around, and the absence makes their heart grow fonder, they feel like the love between the two of you could be real in some way. I do also think that you take your time trusting people. You take your time getting out of your shell or letting your guard down with people. So when people feel like they've built their trust with you and it's come to a place where you guys can trust one another and be open and vulnerable with one another, people feel like they would never want to break your trust ever. Because it took so long to get to that place of trust that they never want to break your trust or break the relationship. So who is obsessing over you? Like I said, I do see a lot of secret admirers. I see people having certain expectations of where they'd want the connection to go. That could be platonic or romantic. I see people that are obsessed over your success or where you are at the moment. And I think with that, there's nothing wrong with that, especially like if they want to learn from you in some way. But I think with that, be careful of people that just kind of like want to take from you in a way, where they want to take all your knowledge and not work for it on their own. You get what I mean? Or maybe they want to be around you because of status or something. So just be careful of people like that, because I do think that you guys, like I said, don't have much of an ego, so you don't see things in that way, but some people do. And some people do have those kind of intentions, so just be careful, because I do see it in the cards here. I do see some co-workers, online followers. I don't know if some of you have a social media platform, but I'm seeing like online followers. I'm seeing like people that are secretly crushing on you where you have no idea how deep their feelings go. I also see like a peaceful person that almost gives me like a hippie vibe in my mind's eye. I see a childhood friend or someone you've been friends with for a very long time. I'm seeing a pet obsess over you. I never expected that message. And like I said, people that feel like they can't let go of you. So the zodiac sign showing up, this could be your sign or the sign of the people that are obsessing over you. I'm seeing Leo energy, Gemini, Virgo. Oh, also if you have like inspired people through like art, writing, music, how you speak and connect, people could sort of be inspired by that. I also see someone that's younger than you. But I specifically see something about your voice, something about like writing and music, or your intellect. I'm also seeing in my mind's eye that when people are with you, once they have been with you in the bedroom, they can never go back. Like, then they tend to obsess over you. I don't know why, but I'm seeing that in my mind's eye. Okay, I'm seeing Libra, Scorpio, Cancer. You guys are also like a mirror to people, and sometimes people fall in love with that relatability aspect. How you just kind of match their energy in some way. I'm also getting Pisces and Taurus. So that is all I have for you, pile number 3. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.